The night had wrapped its chilly fingers around the small cabin nestled deep within the snow-clad woods, where Taehyung and Yor had escaped for a weekend getaway. The world beyond their little sanctuary was silent, save for the occasional rustle of branches under the weight of freshly fallen snow. Inside, the flickering flames of the fireplace created a warm, inviting glow, contrasting sharply with the cold that simmered just outside. Yor stood by the large window, her breath fogging the glass as she peered into the winter wonderland. She was bundled in a thick-knit sweater that hung just off one shoulder, revealing a delicate collarbone. Her hair cascaded in soft waves, and the slivers of moonlight filtering through the trees accentuated the curves of her silhouette. She was thinking about her past, how she'd get married to the love of her life after divorcing her toxic ex. Taehyung's family happily accepted her, so as his fans, she smiled thinking about the beautiful turn of her life. Taehyung watched her from the couch, a content smile playing on his lips as he absorbed the sight of his wife. Taehyung, cold out there? He teased, bringing her back from the depths of her daydreaming. She turned, a playful grin spreading across her face. Yor, can't imagine why anyone would want to be outside when it's this warm in here, she replied, gesturing to the crackling fire. Yor, besides, I have everything I need right here. Taehyung, oh really, everything? Taehyung raised an eyebrow, leaning back against the couch, his eyes sparkling with mischief. She sauntered over to him, the soft padding of her feet barely making a sound on the hardwood floor. As she reached him, she leaned down, resting her hands on the plush cushions beside him, her face mere inches from his. Yor, everything, she whispered, locking her gaze onto his. The air was thick with tension, a comforting warmth wrapping around them, but their closeness awakened a hunger between them that pulsed like the rhythm of their hearts. Taehyung reached out, caressing her cheek with the pad of his thumb, his touch gentle yet electric. Taehyung, you always know how to make a cold night feel so warm, he murmured, his voice low and honeyed. Yor shivered at the intimacy of his words, her pulse quickening. In the flickering light of the fire, she saw the desire in his dark eyes, a familiar spark that had always ignited every moment they shared. Without breaking their gaze, he pulled her onto his lap, her heartbeat echoing in between them. Breathe, playing with each other. Taehyung, I love this sweater, he said suddenly, a teasing grin sprouting on his face. Yor, but I'm starting to think it actually makes me colder, she chuckled, the sound melodic. Yor, what if I took it off? Taehyung, then you definitely need to come closer to keep warm, he replied, his voice dropping as he leaned in. The playful banter crackled in the air like the embers dancing in the fireplace. Yor's breath caught in her throat, a delicious thrill coursing through her veins. She leaned back slightly, meeting his gaze with a challenge in her eyes. Slowly, she slipped the sweater off her shoulders, revealing the delicate lace of her bra, the cool air kissing her skin. A gasp escaped Taehyung's lips, his eyes widening in approval and longing. Taehyung, now that's better, he teased, letting his hands roam over her sides, igniting fire where his fingers grazed her skin. She felt empowered, a rush of confidence swelling within her. Yor, how about you lose something too? Taehyung grinned, his gaze never wavering from hers. He stood, bringing her up with him, and slowly peeled off his warm flannel shirt, revealing the toned lines of his torso. Yor's breath quickened as she admired the perfectly sculpted body of the man she loved. The room was filled with a palpable energy, every moment stretching delightfully as they closed the distance between their bodies. Taehyung wrapped his arms around her, pulling her flush against him. Their breaths mingled in the closeness, a perfect balance of warmth and coolness as the fire warmed their surroundings. Taehyung, do you feel that? He whispered, his lips brushing dangerously close to her ear as he moved to the side of her neck. Yor, yes, she replied softly, her skin prickling under his warm breath. Yor, I feel everything. At that moment, the world outside faded away as Taehyung captured her lips with his. The kiss began soft and tender, an exploration, but soon it deepened, igniting the passion bubbling beneath the surface. His hands roamed her back, pulling her even closer, each caress causing sparks to ignite along her spine. As they broke apart, breathless yet electrified, Y searched Taehyung's eyes, reflecting her own fiery desire. Y, make me feel warm, she dared, the challenge hanging in the air between them. He carried her in his arms and walked to the plush rug sprawled in front of the fire, where the warmth enveloped them like a cocoon. They melted into one another, whispering sweet nothings, lost in a world that belonged only to them. And as the snow continued to fall outside, the chill was forgotten, replaced by an intimacy that would burn brightly in their hearts long after the night had faded into memory.